Welcome to That Little Crafting Place, where we make miniatures and much, much more. Well, hello out there. It's been a long time to get to this moment. There's been gardening, company, thrifting, and random side quest projects. It's been a busy summer. I absconded with a corner of the garage, and I've just recently given it back to my husband. Today we're going to complete the railing for the second floor of the library. We're going to complete the railing for the landing, the new landing, and the spiral staircase. Not necessarily in that order. For the railing, I laminated 4 layers of the pine wood that I was using for the build, then shaped it with a sander. The little balusters were purchased on Amazon. Earlier this spring, I began working on the spiral staircase, and I paused it to move on to another project that needed to be done, and now we're going to finish the spiral staircase. As you can see, I've removed the decorative fan blades from the staircase. This was a decision that was easy to make. They're better used if you're making a metal staircase. As it turns out that as the spiral staircase went up, I lost a lot of the design from the fan blade as the stairway was turning. So I carefully peeled them away, set them aside, and I'm going to use them in another part of the project. So I just have solid wooden stairs. What was nice about using the old embroidery hoop is that it was laminated in 2 or 3 layers. By boiling it, I softened everything and softened the glue, and I was able to separate it. It will make a nice curve that's going to form the perfect railing for my stairway. Now in between, what I'm going to use as little balusters for the stairway, I'm using stir sticks. And this gives you a good idea of what it's going to look like. We'll get there in just a jiffy. Right now we're going to shape our future railing to the specifications of the stairway by wrapping it around and securing it with rubber bands, and then I'm going to set it out in the sun to dry. It's the little things in making miniatures, especially when you've decided to back engineer something, or you're building something with your own design in mind and you have to do it from your head rather than from paper and exact specifications. This is very time consuming, but that's the joy of doing a good job, or as best you can, and making your own ideas come to life. So I left it all afternoon and evening to dry, and this is the next day. And what we're going to do now is we're going to attach our railing and mark it for the balusters. The space between each baluster is going to be the width of a popsicle stick. To make a sturdy little baluster for my stairway, I'm going to layer 3 coffee stir sticks together with wood glue. I'm using 5-inch coffee stir sticks for this project. The wood glue dries quickly, so within an hour or so I'm able to press on with the project. I'm going to measure it with my little humpleman there and figure out just how high the baluster needs to be, and then we can move on. I used a light layer of joint compound to erase any imperfections on the side of my stairway. Now I'm going to use E6000 glue and glue a strip of veneer along the edge of the stairway going down so that I have a wooden surface to attach a strip of wood that's going to act as a base, and that's where the bottom of the balusters will be glued to. I allowed the glue to dry for 24 hours, and now I've taken my X-Acto knife and cut away the shape of the stairs. As you can see, I've glued the band of wood to the stairway, and where you see the stairs numbered, I'm going to add little sections of craft stick wood that I've cut to match, and that will make all of the wood even going all the way down. This will provide plenty of surface to secure the balusters. I allowed this to dry for 24 hours, so it's time to remove the tape and see where we are. Now that the tape's been removed, we can see that there are layers that have been exposed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off that with craft sticks. Now it's time to attach the balusters. We're going to begin by creating a newel post for the base. For the newel post, I've glued together two 5-inch craft sticks. I'm going to do my best to make sure each little baluster is straight as I go along. We'll add another newel post at the top, and then we're done for the time being. We're going to allow this to dry for 24 hours. Everything is lovely and dry, and so now we can create the hand railing. I do apologize, I tend to push my projects a little bit out of frame, but it'll come back in just one moment. I've clipped together the handrail to dry, and we're going to move on to finishing off the bottom portion of the stairway. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use craft sticks and cut them to fit and create a smooth surface going all the way up the stairway. This smooth surface will make it easier for me to attach the baseboard to the side of the staircase to cover the baluster bases and give it a nice finished look. There's a lot of piecing involved in this project, which has taken a long time, but it is well worth it. Once again, I'm going to allow this to dry for 24 hours. I've allowed it to dry that 24 hours, and now I'm going to use joint compound to fill in all the little empty spaces. After another 24 hours, it's time to do the sanding and the cleanup. Once our cleanup is completed, now it's time to put on the last band of wood. And that's going to be allowed to dry for 24 hours. Now it's time to make the landing. The landing's going to be constructed of 4 of these shapes that you see right here. I'm going to layer 4 of them together, and that will make the landing that's going to attach to the second floor. Once the landing was complete, I've added a layer of cardboard so that I can attach my flooring. Now you can see a hole in the landing, and the reason the hole is there is because I'm going to be using dowels to secure the stairway into the first floor and secure it to the second floor. The staircase will lock the first floor to the second floor, as well as be portable and easy to store. As you can see here, I have reduced the size of the opening on the second floor and brought it forward just ever so slightly. Now we're going to glue that landing and let it dry for 24 hours. Once again, I'm going to use joint compound to fill in any of the little empty spaces. So now you have an idea of what the stairway and the library banister is going to look like. Now we're on to the decorative railing for the landing. Once again, we're going to use the basic 5-inch craft sticks for the newel posts. Now what I've done with the leftover pieces of embroidery hoop is I boiled them again, wrapped them around the landing, and shaped them to fit the landing. Once the wood was pliable, I shaped it around the base of the landing and secured it with rubber bands. I did allow it to dry again for another 24 hours. Once this new newel post is complete, we're going to be repurposing the fan blades. I've already created sturdy panels by gluing 2 fan blades together. My goal for this design is to make it look like a crow's nest. To fill in the extra space created by the fan blades in the railing, I used extra craft sticks, and this created a nice thick newel post. We're going to allow this to dry for 24 hours, and then we're going to fill in all of the empty spaces, and it'll be time to stain after that. I'm using dark walnut stain on the woodwork throughout the house. This is intended to be a period piece, and dark walnut was the most fitting for the theme of the house. For the finish, I'm going to be using my tung oil. There will be 3 layers of tung oil. That means 3 days of drying time. So after a busy summer and a few delays and several weeks of hard work, we have finished our library stairway and banister. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please like and subscribe. Please share my channel with your friends. I welcome your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. Tap that notification button for upcoming announcements of thrifts and crafts. But most of all, have a lovely, lovely day.